Working. I'm working off orange chicken. I'm burning off fried rice. Running. I'm running off the ice cream. I'm burning off those cookies. Oh crap. I almost forgot. I had 3 Oreos last night. I better run another 10 minutes. Ugh. How did this thing go up? I worked my butt off all week for what? To gain a pound? Stop wasting time on workouts that don't burn fat. Instead of working harder only to lose and regain the same 5 to 10 pounds, let me show you how I work smarter with a plan that gives me consistent results week after week. This is the exact plan that helped me lose 50 pounds even after all of my work harder fat loss hacks failed. In this video, I'll show you the exact steps I follow to finally make exercise work with my fat loss plan instead of against it, always leaving me to regain everything I lost within months. But how do you set up a smarter exercise plan that actually gets results? If you feel like all of that hard work you put in on the treadmill isn't working with you, that's because it's not, especially if all of that hard work spikes your appetite, leading you to overeat foods that aren't even on your plan. That's because you cannot outrun a bad diet. Believe me, I tried that eat what I want, run a little longer method for decades, and it doesn't work. Not only that, but even if you're slashing calories while ramping up cardio, you still won't end up with the results you want. A great example of using excessive cardio for faster results is The Biggest Loser. Let's go back to 2009 when the 8th season of The Biggest Loser kicked off. We all remember watching as 14 obese contestants competed to lose weight as quickly as possible while following a very low calorie diet and busting their butts in the gym. 17 weeks in, most of the contestants got some pretty spectacular results. Even though their amazing before and after photos are motivating, the sad truth is 13 out of 14 contestants regained a significant amount of weight, with some even heavier than when they started. One big problem with these quick weight loss approaches is they only teach you how to drop the weight when you feel motivated. But what are you supposed to do once you reach your goal? Because no one can live on a few slices of Jennie-O wrapped in lettuce for the rest of their lives. And it's not reasonable for anyone to exercise 4 to 6 hours every day just to maintain what you lose. All anyone learns with these quick weight loss approaches are strategies that are impossible to maintain, causing the weight to come back even faster. So if extreme diets never work for permanent fat loss, how can you set up a plan where you can actually maintain your results? You have to figure out your Goldilocks zone when it comes to diet and exercise, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. Because first, you have to understand that when the Biggest Loser contestants go from eating the large portions that got them to 300 plus pounds to following an extreme diet that is fit for a 2-year-old, while it's true that the scale goes down quickly, those big drops aren't just fat. Sure, we can see that the contestants did lose a significant amount of fat, but whenever you slash calories that low while also overdoing cardio, that extreme calorie deficit means you also lose something way more valuable that is vital to keeping the weight off. After losing more than 100 pounds with keto and intermittent fasting, I was ecstatic to wear sizes that I couldn't fit into for decades. Even though I continued following all of the strict rules, I couldn't keep the weight off for long. I was always fighting to lose the 10 pounds I regained after vacation, or the 15 pounds I put back on over the holidays. The weight kept yo-yoing on and off until one day my scale was up 50 pounds, which I couldn't lose no matter how few carbs I ate or how long I fasted. In fact, continuing with these strict rules sent my hormones into a tailspin, with a hormone specialist telling me that I was entering menopause at 39. It wasn't until I prioritized the right type of exercise that I finally dropped the weight while also balancing my hormones, leaving me to fight the battles of menopause for another day. It has been more than 6 years and that day still hasn't come. So I'd say swapping out intense cardio was definitely the right call. But how did I finally balance everything out to lose 50 pounds while also feeling like a human? Even though my daily bouts spent huffing and puffing was no longer the answer, neither was just sitting on my butt. That's when I began prioritizing lifting heavy weights while trading intense cardio for more walking. Even though this approach comes with slower results, whenever you prioritize getting stronger over burning the most calories possible, that's how you get results that actually last. Even though it's estimated 1 pound of muscle only burns 6 extra calories each day, there's something about the process of building muscle that dramatically boosts your metabolism. I'm currently working with a client who started his plan right around 400 pounds. Since he hasn't been able to find time to strength train consistently, he can only eat 2,900 calories a day if he wants to lose around a pound each week. When you look at my daily goal tracker, you can see that I'm averaging around 2,500 calories each week, which is just a few hundred calories less than a man who outweighs me by 250 pounds. And I'm still losing at this higher calorie average. That's because my focus is on building muscle, which allows me to eat way more than a woman my size should while leaning out. One thing you need to understand is that the scale won't move as quickly when you follow this approach, but the big difference is the slow and steady results you get from strength training last way longer, if not forever. Prioritizing building muscle versus burning as many calories you can for faster weight loss is just like the tortoise and the hare. Even though the hare speeds up to win the race, he gives up halfway through, never completing his race. Meanwhile, the tortoise has patience, sticks with a more reasonable pace, and makes it to the finish line. But it's not like you can just swap out intense cardio for strength training and then one day you'll magically be at your goal body. Especially since what you eat brings 80 to 90% of your fat loss results. But with so many fitness influencers staring you in every direction, which diet should you follow for a toned body? I can tell you that it is not keto, it's not carnivore, and it is definitely not extreme intermittent fasting. Eliminating an entire macro group, be it fat or carbs, or even not eating for hours each day, won't get you to any goal that's sustainable past a few months. But how do I know that none of these strict diets will work for you? Because none of these strict diets work for anyone, at least not long term. If you watch any of the big influencers closely, how often do they promote their miracle diets that help them lose a lot of weight quickly, only to come back months or years later vowing to diet even harder since the weight is coming back? That's because none of these approaches help you figure out the right calorie deficit and protein target that helps you build lean muscle while also losing fat, which is exactly what you need to do for a plan with lasting results. If you want to figure out a plan that you can stick to forever, then you have to form habits that you can follow forever. If you know that you can't scarf down a huge plate of meat and only meat at every meal forever, then don't even start that diet, because that's only setting yourself up for rapid weight regain. But even if you think you can only eat meat for the rest of your life, that doesn't mean that your body will agree. Even though these big diet influencers make claims like there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate, try telling that to my hormones after they completely tanked from over-restricting carbs. And I know I'm not the only one. But how did I make a comeback from dealing with the daily migraines, extreme exhaustion, and rapid weight regain these extreme diets led to? Well, I ate more carbs. But not only did I eat more carbs, I also ate more food in general to finally get back to a place where I feel amazing, while also naturally staying lean. But I could only eat more while leaning out because I prioritized habits that built up my metabolism instead of falling for another desperate attempt to get the weight off by any means necessary. This time around, I took time to find my Goldilocks zone, which is the right amount of activity combined with the right moderate calorie deficit where I get results week after week. But here's the thing. My definition of weekly results and your definition of weekly results are two very different plans. Because when I was on a journey to lose 50 pounds, I was ecstatic whenever I lost 2 to 4 pounds in a month. Even though 99% of dieters would be absolutely devastated by such small losses, I finally understood that even though my scale was barely inching down, this time quick weight loss wasn't my goal. Because I was sick of working so hard to lose a lot of weight quickly, only to regain it all back a few months later. This time, I switched my approach to body recomp, where I prioritized gaining muscle while losing fat at a slower pace, which meant I didn't expect my scale to move very much each week. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have goals, because I still aim for my strength to increase week after week. And I expected differences in my progress photos month after month. So even though I only lost half a pound the first 3 months of following my body recomp plan, check out these progress photos. I lost an entire size while eating more and exercising less. Because this time, I finally had patience while losing weight the right way. Aiming to lose only 0.5 to 1.5% of my total body weight each week while focusing on getting stronger even led me to eventually hitting my goal weight. The best part is, I easily stay there without following extreme diets. And I never have to force myself back into a strict plan because the weight is creeping back on. I know I make finding your Goldilocks zone while having the patience to lose at a slower pace sound easy. But while you are in the thick of it, it is not easy at all. Now that I've come out of this stronger, leaner, and I will never have to follow another extreme fad diet again, I can assure you this is the right approach. I know you're sick of struggling through diet after diet, but the only way you will ever ditch extreme diets for good is with support. That is the exact reason I'm bringing back my Fat Loss Challenge in 2025. But this time, I'm focused on helping you get leaner and stronger by building the right habits that will not only get you across that finish line, but I am giving you all of the tools to stay there. If you are sick of struggling with your weight, click the link in the description to get on the list for my 2025 Fat Loss Challenge. Of course, we're not starting until January, which means you need a way to pass the time. What better way to do that than learning the daily habits I'll support you through in the challenge, which you can get started with now when you watch this video next. I'll show you the 3 simple habits I follow every day that have majorly changed my life.